Hello everybody, it's New Republic Ryan back with another video, and we are talking Veers this week. Yes, I recently got Veers, General Veers from Rebel's Thorn off of eBay from Miniature Mike, and I was going to do an unboxing video, but then I decided it's a great character. I love Veers, and I have a lot to say. And B, it was Veers' actor, Julian Glover's 90th birthday. I guess last week by the time of this upload. So why not go all out on Veers? Who is Veers? General Veers is kind of the original trilogy Imperial equivalent to Wedge. He is a character with not a lot of screen time, who has had an outsized, oh god, what was that? This train. An outsized impact on the fandom and the legends and canon books and video games and stuff. Despite having a very small amount of screen time, he is very popular and very beloved, and has appeared in a lot of stuff because he's so beloved. He is the commander of Blizzard Force in Empire Strikes Back during the Battle of Hoth, played by actor Julian Glover. Julian Glover is a very talented character actor who has the rare distinction of being a villain in Star Wars as Veers. He's a villain in an Indiana Jones movie. He is a villain in a Bond movie, that's Last Crusade and For Your Eyes Only. And then he's a villain in Doctor Who in the City of Death. So a Doctor Who, Indiana Jones, Bond, and Star Wars villain. That is quite a more than a trifecta, quadfecta, whatever. He's also been on Game of Thrones as Master Pycelle. He's got a small part in Tar. He is a very prolific actor, and he has been in a ton of things, and he's quite beloved for this portrayal of Veers. Veers, after appearing in the movies as the commander of Blizzard Force, went on to some love in the Dark Horse comics, Dark Empire, where he was killed off in the Legends continuity, but he made an appearance there leading an attack force in the Dark Empire comics. In Legends, he appeared in other novels set before the Battle of Hoth, kind of as a side character, picturing his early career in various things. In canon, he's had some appearances also, picturing his earlier career and stuff. He's a very well-liked character, I think, by Star Wars authors and creators. He's been in multiple video games, Galactic Battlegrounds, I think Empire War 2. Really a character that just pops up all around because people like him so much. And I think the reason that people like him so much is because in Empire, we see a lot of Imperials that are basically useless and incompetent, and are only there to be beaten up by Vader to show how scary Vader is. But like Veers is the only Imperial who manages to lead a successful attack on the rebels, the Battle of Hoth. So he's actually like quite a scary and accomplished tactical, genius or whatever, because he leads the Battle of Hoth, and it is the guy that crushes the rebels on Hoth and makes that movie, the Empire Striking Back. So what it is. When they were filming the movie, Julian Glover was given kind of direction to be another one of those sniveling, slimy Imperial sycophants, and he kind of pushed back on that. And he was like, no, this guy's got to be competent. This guy's got to not just be around to lick Vader's boots. Vader's boots. He's got to be, a real character, a general who is kind of interesting. And I think it works. It makes the attack on Hoth seem a little more intense, that they've got this very confident guy leading the charge, versus in Return of the Jedi or later in Empire, when all these Imperials look more afraid of Vader than concerned about actually beating the rebels. So Veers is kind of unique in the original trilogy as like an Imperial who seems genuinely competent, kind of like almost how Tarkin is like genuinely seems like a threatening figure, because he's not terrified of Vader. He's just like focused on destroying the rebels. So he's got real threat to him. And Veers is like that. So he's kind of got this Wedge type response where he just seems like a competent Imperial that's a very non-force using, non-special character. He just pops up as a unique bad guy, kind of how Wedge keeps popping up as a non-force using unique good guy to help out. Veers is the bad guy version of that. And of course, it's no coincidence that Wedge and Veers fight in the Battle of Hoth. Veers has recently kind of had a recent popularity resurgence due to the Veerswatch Twitter account that is now a Blue Sky account, I think, run by George Coastal, who would watch everything Star Wars and go and tweet yes Veers or no Veers, and if there was Veers, get very excited. If there's anything tangentially Veers, like somebody wearing armor that looks like Veers, he'd point it out. He would tweet at creators, put Veers in this, put Veers in that. And it was a very beloved Twitter account. He still runs on Blue Sky. I love following him and all of his stuff. And Coastal is so influential and beloved by the Star Wars author community that they canonized him as Veers' AT-AT pilot, Lastok, who saves Veers in this short story from a certain point of view. And so now, Veerswatch became canon. So good for him, and he's a real Ascended fanboy. But yeah, Veers has had a real popularity resurgence due to this Veerswatch account. But even before then, he was popular, all these novels and all these games. And like Wedge in Wizards, in the miniatures game, he has 3 versions, like Wedge does. He actually got introduced originally in Rebel Storm, so we'll talk about that one first, because this is a Star Wars miniatures video, after all. His first one is simple. It's just General Veers from Rebel Storm, and he basically gives 9 unique followers within 6 squares accurate shot, which is not amazing. He costs 21 points, which is kind of a lot for that. He's got 70 hit points, which is good, but giving 9 unique followers accurate shot is good. I wish it was a less limited commander effect. A lot of early commander effects are kind of limited to 9 unique followers in Rebel Storm and Clone Strike. But if you're playing a trooper squad or a commando squad, there's definitely a lot of pieces that can benefit from accurate shot. So it's useful. Better in the era of mouse droids for sure. And I think that he's not a tremendously great character, but definitely accurate shot is something that's nice to have. So I can definitely see some value to bringing him along. Again, overcosted, I think, at 21 for what he does, but not bad. Not bad. He gets more exciting with his second iteration, my favorite iteration, which is General Veers Hologram, which is kind of a complicated one. So let's dig into it. This is one of those, I don't want to call them meme pieces, because that's like an inaccurate term. We use meme as maybe gimmick pieces is kind of a better description. A gimmicky piece that came out with the Battle of Hoth set. And basically he's a hologram, and you have to attach him to a trooper. He can't open doors, he can't be shot, if the trooper, if there's, you don't have to attach him to a specific trooper. He just has to be near a trooper. And if there's no troopers around, he dies. But what he does is basically provide this fire support mission ability where the trooper can call down an AT-AT blast from like out of the battle game, like a Call of Duty airstrike almost, onto the field to do up to, what is it? It's 60 damage, yeah. Up to 60 damage to an area of effect. Your pieces included too, but yeah, basically like it allows this trooper, any trooper, to call in like a Call of Duty style airstrike. I guess it's like an artillery barrage more of from an AT-AT, but it feels like a COD airstrike to me, to hit an area and do a ton of damage if you fail that save of 6. Of course, every piece gets to make a save of 6, but you know, it's 10 guaranteed 10 damage, no matter whether they make the save or not. If they fail the save, it's 60 damage. So, you know, for 17 points, I think that's pretty fun. I don't know if it's like amazing, but if you're building a trooper army, like with Vader Imperial Commander, who I think is also from that Hoth set, it's just like, throw them in and you just have that extra firepower. Why not? It's just like the ability, if someone fails that save of 6, is like, boom, you know? You would do 60 damage to like a lot of people. If you're facing a swarm team, you know, like a bunch of guys hanging out in squad cover together, troopers, you can do a lot of damage. I think it's pretty fun. I don't know if it's like the most meta ability, but when it works, wow. It's cool. So I really like this General Veers hologram piece. I think he's a lot of fun. Even if he's not like the most incredible piece, I do think he's cool. His final edition, Major Maximillian Veers from Dark Times, is also interesting. I like him too, because he functions similar to the original Veers in that he has some good abilities, but he is not like overpowered. Crack Gunner, plus 10. So basically, if you are standing next to an ATST or somebody with mountain weapon, he combines fire and they get plus 10 damage, and the attack can't be prevented or redirected. So you can't lightsaber deflect it or reflect it or molecular shield it or whatever. I think the point of this guy is just to park him next to an ATST and do a lot of damage. You know, why not? If you are running ATSTs, bring this guy in for 12 points. It's great. And, you know, in addition, he has a commander effect where you know, if a non-unique followers miss, they can move up to 2 spaces, which is a fascinating ability. I don't know how often you use it, because moving 2 spaces is not super helpful, and you have to get missed by an attack. But yeah, Crack Gunner is the real thing that I think you want him for 10 points, for 12 points. Just to give that extra 10 damage and make it so the attack can't be prevented or redirected. I mean, given how much evading, Soresoing, and lightsaber deflecting happens in the game now, in his late stage, you know, by the time he came out in Dark Times, I think any ability which means that an attack can't be redirected or prevented is like great, especially with the damage boost. That's just awesome. And I think you get the combined fire bonus because he gives plus, you know, he'll still give you the combined fire plus 4. So, you know, if you like combined firing, this is like an amazing combined fire piece to pair with a mounted weapon ATST or you know, Blizzard Scout 1 or something. It's just like very useful, I think, for 12 points. Yeah, so those are the 3 Veerses. Great characters, all 3. None of them are like amazing, but I think they're all fairly useful. Blue Milk has them all in the 7 range, which is probably fair. I don't think I'd like say any of them are great. I just said that 2 seconds ago, and now I'm already rethinking it. I think the hologram one is kind of great, just for like the maximum damage potential being insane. If you're running a trooper army, it's just like wow. But they're all useful, I think, still today. You know, even with all the sets that have come out, I think that a lot of Rebel Storm pieces are completely, like almost completely useless, and this original Veers, General Veers, still having some function, giving people accurate shot, even if it's just non-unique followers, that's still pretty useful. Accurate shot is great, you know. So yeah, that's Veers. A character that I personally love. I wore the Empire Strikes Back shirt, if I didn't already say it, for this video today. Go give Veerswatch a follow on socials. Shout out to Veerswatch, and may the force be with you.